I'll be experimenting with different video formats. Try to talk while sometimes the footage will be here. That's kinda it. The thing is that I don't have the next-gen consoles. I didn't play most of the new releases of this year, but whatever. I have the Nintendo Switch and PC, so that's enough. Probably. At least I kind of missed out on Stellar Blade or Vladimir Crew, or even Concord, I guess. But the thing is that I kind of like Ape Escape a lot more, so... The only thing I kind of wished I played was Astrobot, because I absolutely love 3D platformers. And any 3D platformer is for me is kind of even in something like Bubsy 3D, there is something to be fascinated by or even to enjoy. But the only game that is considered next gen that I could play at the Minicon was Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. I absolutely loved every second of it. The gameplay is more fluid, less clunky, and the graphics are just beautiful. A beautiful evolution of Dragon Ball Z. Characters are expressive, and the combat is much more fluid than ever before. Honestly, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero really impressed me. But the only thing is that I could only play like 10-15 minutes of it. So, whoops. Good enough, I guess. Another cold recollection is a remake of both beloved and other games, and honestly, I love them. While I don't feel like they 100% replace the titles they're based on, except for R because R is so much better written here, they do a great job at tackling the story. I cannot spoil anything except for the puzzles. Unfortunately, they don't take advantage of the Switch the same way they did of the Wii/DS games. It sadly shows how most consoles nowadays feel and look the same. I also blame the Joy-Con drift, so too bad. It is still an outstanding experience that avoided the great culture war of 2024. I expected people to call Ashley ugly, but nah, good. Let Ashley be. She's just a teenager. As I was trying to get the game out of a car's drawer, I only played Mario vs. DK's demo. It's basically everything the GBA tried to do, but more fluid, less crunchy.
Bananas. Mini Mario toy. It walks, it talks, it says... Each one comes in its own crystal ball. Collect one, collect them all. Be the first one on your block to own the amazing new Mini Mario toy. Hurry before they're all sold out. Hurry, buy one, buy them all. Buy them all. Buy them all. Buy them all.
I love the demo, but I forgot to rent this one. Sorry, Nintendo. I like renting games too. Also, Kiwi64 got an update full of voice acting, and I loved it, but I've talked about this game too much. So let's tackle Princess Peach Showtime instead. It's stupid, it uses 2 buttons, and is an action-adventure puzzle game with a constantly static Resi/Ghost Trick camera angle. Some people compare it to Balan Wonderworld, but I love Balan to the point where Princess Peach Showtime is much simpler. Princess Peach Showtime has more linear levels, less darker story with unskippable cutscenes, simpler powers, but Princess Peach Showtimes makes up with its variety. No activity is the same with so many minigames with various levels of skills. I feel like this title has so much creativity, it becomes ambition. Good job, good feel. We'll see each other again later. Unicorn Overlord has some beautiful graphics, but it also has auto battles without the exploration. So, no thank you. I talked about Contra, Senlen is cool, so is Crow County, which honestly, I'm glad it got a lot more popularity than I expected. Badass girls in an horror game is always a winning formula, but I'll have to wait for June for anything great. For For some reason, the latest Boku no Natsuyami game got localized, so I'm on a summer vacation with camera angles. Also, there's an open world. The game notes any side quest that you got, which is also an evolution of the genre, while the art style is just great. I might get it later or on Steam. Like, I would love a Steam Deck, but I'll think about it. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game's demo so far, despite the amount of advertisements I got from Spike Chunsoft. Like, it would always begin with, Natsumon demo is now available on Nintendo Switch, and I have to skip it despite loving the game. But yeah, I loved it. You know what I like? Man! You know what I also like? The Denpa Man, the most normal free-to-play JRPG on the Switch. With microtransactions and a lot of grinding. For a Denpa Man who wants to be stronger, very neat. Too bad the game is kind of translated by ChatGPT. Even people on Twitter complained about it. Due to that, a lot of the jokes fall flat with a lot of barely readable dialogue. It's the J Counter situation again. My biggest problem with free-to-play JRPGs is that there isn't much to do outside of combat. My only Denpa Man, you get a lot of exploration and a lot of choices as you go through dungeons. Most of the exploration feels really rewarding, and it's just really nice just to go out and explore by yourself. However, you need to go through these dungeons over and over again, with unskippable cutscenes, and you need to talk to the same NPCs, and you know, that's just not a great experience. Same thing with the puzzles. Also, the daily login gives you more money than you get for accomplishing a dungeon. So yeah, that's also a thing that sucks. As much as I want to support this kind of man, it's just that I really can't because there are so many flaws, it just annoys me to no end. I wish I could have loved this title, as it had the potential to be a potential game of the year with its simplistic combat and exploration elements. I can't really love this game. Also, apparently the Denpa Man can't level up past 20 until you finish the 4th dungeon of this entire game. And there's an unbeatable monster that won't let you pass, so I would maybe recommend getting all the accessories maybe. And this easily could have been my game of the year, but it just didn't work out. So yeah, that sucks. More like Zelda.
Boo, you stink!
Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has some of the most subtle yet direct tutorials I've seen in a while. Every single aspect of the story complements the gameplay, so it's all direct with a compelling story that doesn't take 10 hours of cutscenes. The gameplay itself is really fun too, as you get to use the echoes in very inventive and creative ways. I kind of wish there was an easier way to combat, especially during a mini-boss fight that's as annoying as Silver from Sonic 06. Yes, that annoying. Still, this is one of the most interesting 2D Zelda games and deserves your attention.
I got a bone to pick with you!
Is about you going to hell and losing your body to poison it, who can turn your poison into ammunition. So you need to clear a lot of people's personal hells in order to come back to life. The people's hells vary from a girl who just hates allergies, to another grieving her dog by destroying other animals' lives, to a certain type of assault I cannot name or else it will be censored on YouTube. Not every subject matter is treated well, especially the assault part, and it is very much an otaku game with some moe girls. Still, I enjoyed the world building as well as the main story more. It's not perfect, especially the assaulting again, but I enjoyed it a lot. The gameplay is a low-budget, third-person shooter with not that much depth aside from a few upgrades, as well as leveling up system. Still, I would rather play this than Uncharted, especially due to the art style that only made the FPS drop at the end of the game. Aside from that, the gameplay looks very fluid. Poison control looks gorgeous, it's just that you need to know what you're getting into. My review is like a metaphor. Everything is a metaphor. The Dreamcast is my metaphor. This tattoo I have for some reason is a metaphor. And Metaphor ReFantasio's demo is a metaphor. Of course it's about metaphor. Again, I only played the demo, but certainly beats P5 by a landslide. It's very heavily inspired by Berserk or Dark Fantasy in general to deliver what I think is a great story with a pretty fun battle system, with a stylish presentation. It's funny how the game makes you start with overpowered enemies that you need to outrun, but if anything, the story to gameplay ratio is big enough to convince me that I'm watching a new anime. That's not a bad thing, by the way, although it is a clear contrast to Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. That, along with the very stylish presentation, helps the game establish its own identity. The music is more of a fantasy tone, which is understandable, doing the job very well. It just doesn't stick to me the same way something like the last story does. Still fun so far. We are now at the end. The final game. The one I can easily call the game of the year. Sonic X Buckaroo Generations. Nah, for real, it's Buckaroo. By the same devs as Princess Peach Showtime. You control a tanuki named Buckaroo, who sort of goes all over Japan to save the world.
That's
Also, Fairy Tail Zeros are real and gives you powers. At my local World Film Festival, there was a taiko drum master who wanted us to scream, "Sore!" Oh wait, it was probably more like, "Sore!" So the game using both taiko drumsticks as attacks is very satisfying. And it's not just a beat 'em up, it's a platformer too. Lot of exploration where you collect some really random trivia as well as some accessories for you to find. Aside from a very overpowered enemy that you can only beat using candy or just using guard all the time, I would say this is a very creative and fun game. Story isn't anything special, but it's more like Puyo Puyo or Toe. Toe fans, you know exactly what to do. Watch my video about it. People also know that the similarities between this game and Goemon, and I pretty much can understand, between the haircut and the setting that's in Japan, as well as the story. Either way, if you want more weird opinions, please like and subscribe. Bye bye!